So we come to season 3, episode 4, building endurance without breaking your body. Well, welcome back to the Runner's Soul, the podcast where running meets science stride by stride. And as always, I'm Sharon, your resident podiatrist, runner, and unapologetic foot nerd. So at some point, every new runner asks themselves that same question. How do I run longer without feeling wrecked? Not faster, not harder, just a little bit longer. So, today's episode, I thought we'd talk about building endurance. The kind that makes running feel easy and not painful. Because we don't want you putting yourself off, talking yourself out, coming up with excuses. So we're going to break endurance down in a way that actually makes sense. So we'll talk about what endurance really is. When is your body ready for more? How to increase running time safely, and why most injuries happen right at this stage. If you've been running consistently and thinking, I feel ready, but I'm scared to push it, then this episode is exactly what you need to listen to. We hear the word endurance bandied about. But what does endurance actually mean? Well, for most people, they think endurance is all about pushing through exhaustion. Well, it's not. Endurance is your body's ability to repeat effort comfortably. And that includes your heart and your lungs, your muscles, your tendons, your bones, and yes, especially your feet. When endurance improves, running starts to feel smoother and more controlled. But when endurance is rushed, the body breaks down and you give up because you feel like your body is letting you down and you feel like, oh, I can't do it. I've tried. I can't do it. So we want you to build up your endurance with little baby steps. So your body doesn't realize how we are working it and how strong it's getting. Have you fallen into the endurance trap? Because here is where many runners get stuck. They think, well, I ran 20 minutes, so next week I should be able to run 30. Well, that jump feels logical to the brain, but it's very risky because your cardiovascular system adapts quickly, but your tissues do not. So therefore, this is where we see plantar fasciitis developing, Achilles pain, shin splints, and stress reactions. Because endurance should be built gradually and intentionally, and more importantly, safely. But how will you know when it's time to do more? So let's talk about the signs that you are ready to increase. So the green lights include you finish runs feeling okay, comfortably, soreness resolves within a day, there's no lingering foot or heel pain, and your pace feels controlled and comfortable. Now, let's talk about the red lights. The red lights are things like pain that carries into the next run, morning stiffness that seems to worsen, and feeling drained before the run even starts. So if you're seeing these red lights, hold steady. Progress waits for no one, but injuries don't forgive impatience. So start slowly, and build up gradually. What are the safest ways to build endurance? So let's talk about them. Here's the safest approach for new runners. Increase your time, but not your speed. So we want to add small little increments, even just like 2 to 5 minutes, and only increase one thing at a time. So keep the effort easy. You should still be able to talk. You shouldn't be out of breath, because endurance is built in comfort and not chaos. Have you ever wondered what your feet are doing during endurance runs? As your endurance increases, your feet have to work harder and longer. Your plantar fascia stores energy repeatedly. Your calves fatigue gradually. Your ankles manages prolonged tension. And if you don't allow recovery to happen, then these tissues become overloaded and jaded. And that is why endurance and rest must grow together. So more running requires more recovery and not less. The myth of pushing through. Let's address the mindset many runners struggle with. And these are things you think, if I stop, I'm weak. If I walk, I failed. That kind of thinking causes injuries, because walking breaks are a tool and not a setback. They allow your endurance to build slowly without overwhelming your tissues. So smart runners walk so that they can run again tomorrow. What do you do when your progress feels slow? Endurance progress is very subtle, as we said before. So you might not notice many changes, but there'll be very subtle changes, like you'll find your breathing feels easier. You'll find you might recover faster. The run feels calmer. These are very small little changes, but they're wins. Even if the distance hasn't changed much, trust quiet progress, because that is the kind that lasts, and that is habit forming at its best. So we talked about trusting your quiet progress, because at that stage, something important is happening. There's a confidence shift happening. You're no longer just starting, you're building. And building takes patience, trust, and restraint. Endurance, it isn't earned by pushing harder. It's earned by respecting your body long enough for it to adapt to its new form of habit. So what's in store for next episode? Well, in the next episode, we're going to slow things right down on purpose, because we're going to be talking about recovery. And we'll explain to you why rest is part of that training, how to tell soreness from injury, and how recovery protects your feet and future runs, and of course, those all-important muscles and bones. So episode 5 might change how you see rest forever. And before we wrap up, let's not forget about homework. So here's your week 4 challenge. So this week, it's Gentle Progression Week. So for the next 7 days, I'd like you to choose one run only to slightly extend. And we just want you to extend it, not by much, but just add 2 to 5 minutes. Keep the pace easy. and all your other runs stay exactly the same. So only pick one run. So your goal is not to prove anything. It's just your goal is to progress without consequences. And I would love for you all to join our community on Facebook, because it is a great place where you can share your stories, connect with real people like me, and keep the conversation going beyond the podcast. I have been so enjoying all your comments, and you've been telling me how what we've been saying has been helping you with your running. And, it's just great to hear all you guys are making so much progress. So we'll drop the link in the show notes so you can join us there. Pass our name on to all your friends and family and all the runners that you know, or people who want to run. And so until next time, be patient, build slowly, and remember, endurance grows when your body feels safe enough to adapt.